Hey, this is Vanessa, and this is my channel about, it's the mental health field today. So, I wanted to show you my outfit. So I don't usually wear something like this to the office. I find it a little bit short, but it does stay in place. So, but it got me thinking. I have leggings on, so it's not like if I become unladylike, because Jesus, it's so easy to to mess up in anything. That it's not a problem because there's stuff hidden. Um, but I am very aware of everything that I wear in the office because this field is unfortunately very intimate. I know people's secrets and all sorts of things that they wouldn't tell and they probably shouldn't tell other people. So I make it clear I'm going to an event, so that's why I'm wearing something like this to the office. Had it not been an event day, like I wouldn't wear this. But it has me thinking about the people who are unaware of like what they should or shouldn't be wearing at the office. And there's there's a couple of people that come to mind when I think of what you shouldn't be wearing at work for therapy. So one woman, she had a long torso. She just didn't find shirts at that time that fit correctly, and she had a back tattoo, like huge one, like went all the way up, and it was really pretty, but she couldn't find shirts again that covered everything. And so she would bend over and you would see the beginning of the tattoo on her back, and a lot of people would be like, all of the nice things that you can say about tattoos on someone's lower back that also go up their back. But if you only see the part that's on the lower back, you know the phrases. Okay. So people would point it out and she'd get very mad, which, I mean, yes and no, because from my stance, maybe she should have just bought a bigger, just one size up, you know. Also, I think she had breast implants, and so that was something that was like very clear that she was very proud of, that like was a distraction. Other people have definitely worn boots and skirts that were too short, and when you sit down they ride up a little bit. Actually, I shouldn't say that, they rode up a lot. And in an interview I had, which, man, I am going to tell the whole story of this interview because wow, it was bad. They worked with teens and they're wearing boots, and I don't think anything like, I think it was boots, skin, and then the skirt or the dress or whatever. And it was so, like, it was so small that I could see like almost to her underwear line, as to like where the skirt rose up a little bit, and like where like there was not much difference, maybe an inch difference. And I just don't think that, this is a personal preference, but like working with teenagers and wearing something that would seem a little bit revealing, too revealing for a profession like this, that I don't know, like either some people are just really not aware of like what they should be wearing, I guess, in the office. I mean, there's not much that you shouldn't be wearing in the office, but like there's things that you should probably consider as to maybe not wear in the office. I I I was cleaning the office and I wore a shirt that had a cape on it, and then my client showed up 2 hours early, and I was like, oh no, I am wearing this. And they were like, no, it's fine. It's really actually a cool shirt. Like, we love it. Like, please. And I was like, I can't be a therapist in this shirt. This is not a therapy shirt. Like, I gotta not wear this shirt. But that's the only time that I was like, oh no. So this interview, the organization was shit at the time. I don't know if they're any better. I hope that they're better, but God, if they're not better, they're going down pretty quick. I don't know why anyone would work for them. So, had the interview, and they made fun of me the entire time. Like, these two women who were dressed very, in my opinion, seductively. Like, they were like, well, I know you're an art therapist, but, like, do you think that you could possibly do anything that's, like, you know, more active, because some of our clientele really like, you know, basketball or, like, soccer. I'm terrible at both, but, like, I actually have the shoes on that could, you know, do those things. I don't think your fucking high heel boots are going to do shit for you if you wanted to do that out with those clients. So, like, what the fuck was that? And then they asked about politics, which is illegal. And I said something very diplomatic, like, oh, progress is always made. Because fuck you, you should not be talking about politics at any point while you're interviewing someone. That's fucked up. Like, don't fucking do that. Illegal. And, like, I just could not believe what joy they got into bringing me into the office to be mean girls. That's the whole point of it. The other side of that is two things. One, ran into one of my classmates or former classmates from the art therapy program in the lobby, and she looked scared, and she was a jerk too, so she's the mean girl attitude in this whole place, very much on brand for them. She looked at me, looked a little scared, and said, oh, this is my last week here. She worked down the street from my private practice and didn't say crap. So she's not the best person, and I didn't know that until, like, I just kind of, I don't know, over time dawned on me that, like, her little bits of, like, oh, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, to other people who I was following, like, both people on Instagram, was, like, fucking bullshit. It's such a mean girl thing. It was, like, really definitely trying to, like, I'd be like, oh, hey, and it's almost like they would just be like, oh, yeah, so I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, you know, to each other. And yeah, so I'm not friends with her anymore. I don't refer to her. I don't acknowledge her existence, because she's a jerk. She's a jerk under all, and she tried to do some things business-wise that were not to my favor, and weren't friendly. For example, she tried to take one of, like, my networked people, like someone who reached out to me directly and was like, hey, I know that you do this, and, like, we've connected before, and, like, I really like, you know, your stuff, like, do you have any recommendations? I told her about, oh, you know, do you want to do this thing? And she was like, no, but could you give me the name of your contact? No, I'm not giving you the name of my contact. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is a contact who knows me. They don't want you. They don't know you. Like, that's so uncouth for, like, for business, that it's like, you can ask for an introduction. That's the proper way to go about that, but you just straight up wanted to steal a connection. Fuck off. So, no, blocked. So, again, the vibes in this place, very off, right? Okay, let me tell you about the owner. I did meet him at a Rotary meeting, and I was like, oh, did not mention the interview. Was like, you know what? I'm just gonna skip on by that. I have other things that I want to ask him about. I wanted to ask him about the public service loan forgiveness, because I think that place would be a really good place to have that program implemented, especially because they pay shit. Like, probably $15 an hour, even though you have a master's, bullshit. Okay? And I'm not saying that no job should have $15 an hour. Everyone should make a livable wage. However, when you have a master's and you are most likely in debt, because why wouldn't you be? Especially spending, between $20,000 and $120,000 for, you know, for a master's, you should be paid more than $15. Just one of those things. And all $15 even a decade ago, not well enough to live off of. I'm so sorry. Like, you know, like, it's not good. But if you are going to take a job that is that low paying, you should have the public service loan forgiveness, because at the end of the year you get $10,000, I think, off of your total of your of your student loans, and if you work, I think like 10 years, they take everything off of your student loans. That's how that's supposed to work. I know Trump was trying to repeal that, and I think other things are kind of like, it's a program that's always in peril, but like for the most part, if you have someone who's willing to fight for you, it is a great program, and it should be implemented, especially in things like that. So I talked to the owner. I was like, hey, like, you don't pay that well. You know that on some level. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what about public service, loan forgiveness? And he was like, no, we're not going to ever do that. Don't know why. You're the CEO. You should figure this out. What is wrong with you? And what he said was, I pride myself on having an organization that has really good coworkers. And I wish that I was more assertive and could have been like, bitch, listen, no one is fucking paying my bill. My coworkers not paying my bills. Okay? Like, you do the public loan forgiveness, but like you make those positions available, because that is such fucking bullshit. And like, I cannot believe that someone who is so willing to take state money cannot fucking figure out how to make the public, like, for the public service, like, forgiveness loan thing, like, work for their employees. Like, that's fucked up. Like, just on a general level, especially when you're working with impoverished people, you expect everyone to what? Fucking take a vow of poverty so that, like, you can do what? Make more fucking money off the state? Fuck you. Like, I cannot believe that these people exist and want to sit there and say that the coworkers text in a group text outside of work hours. You will not find me doing that. Oh my God. Like, I cannot believe that was something that he was like, oh, like, that club of mean girls that was there? No, absolutely fucking not. I think that my former classmate, I think she lied. I think she probably still worked there for a long time until she went into private practice with like the group that had started after I graduated. It was in Milford, Connecticut. I didn't keep up with it, but I know the people who just graduated group practice. And I was like, I don't trust any of this, because I don't know if you can actually say that you have made any money because you just graduated and opened a group practice. Like, I don't know you well enough to know if you're organized or if like anyone will be making money off of this. Like, you can't guarantee anyone an income. Like, I mean, I guess you have to, but like at the same time, like, do you know how much anything is going to cost? Do you know how much, like, what are you doing? Many people do it. It's totally fine. It's just, it was kind of like a weird, like, I know you not well enough. And also, I still had like people who were trying to tell me that I shouldn't be in the private practice that I was in, that I should be in the Milford private practice, which I didn't want to be in. I didn't want to be in a private practice with a bunch of other art therapists. I don't agree with that. I think that if you join a private practice, you either, as an art therapist, should be the only one there, or you should be joining private practice groups that include a lot of different things, so that like you aren't like if you're all trauma specialists, how is anyone going to know to choose you? Like, but if you are the trauma specialist in that group of people who one of them does like ADHD, the other one does autism testing, and the other person does like academics, like, you're all good, because you're like, you can like work together. It's all this other stuff that I'm like, it's just one of those things I just don't agree with. It's an opinion. It's how I live my life. Everyone else live their life the same way. I mean, not same way, it's different. It's totally fine. What I was going to say was, yes, on that note, I do want to say, just life advice. Everyone develops opinions that fit into their life, and it's not very often that you're really going to find someone who is willing to change their position because they have a belief and an opinion that fits into their life. So in my life, I don't agree with that. In someone else's life, that is the perfect thing because they want to be around people who definitely understand everything that they're doing and want to get the right referrals. Fine, whatever. Choose your battles, choose your path, go down that path. I don't care. I have an opinion about this. It's fine. If you want to have an opinion about it, that's fine. Don't try to convince me of my opinion as something different because it's not going to happen. That's just not how it is. As far as my life goes, I'm not doing that. So like, I'm not joining a group practice. So not again. So like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I can only imagine how many people you expressed an opinion on the internet. Like, yeah, and it's not anything that impacts you or me. And your opinion about what I should be doing with my life has no bearing on what I actually do with my life. Life. Anyway, so yeah, and I think that person is now in private practice. I don't follow them. Again, I don't care. I think that they have some sort of practice somewhere that I'm like, oh, aren't you in this area? No? Okay, well, whatever. Never mind. They're definitely blocked. It's kind of interesting because I think we're in a couple of the same groups and I'm like, oh, what about this person? Oh, yeah? Oh, well, that's nice. And then, we don't talk to each other. I just pretend that I have conversations with them. I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally saw your response to that. Because I can totally see what you're saying. Yeah, that's good to know. Bye. But yes, we don't talk. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that sort of thing. Some people are they're just unaware. They're just unaware. And it can happen to anyone, including therapists. So, yes. All right. I will talk with you soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.